What is going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode on the Overture One YouTube channel, and we're going to be talking about weighing the risk. And before we get into that, if you guys get value from this channel, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on some notifications. We will be dropping videos every single week per usual, and be the first to check out the content, and if you guys get value from it, like we always say, just share it to people that you care about, people who are also in this space, who need access to the information that we're giving out. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it.
Man, I'm fired up on this one. Today's topic is going to be weighing the risk. You think about so much things as of what's going to happen if this happens, what happens if this happens, and then we're going to talk about it in a context of trading. We've all been there, as a collective experience. Like me and Jared have 6 years combined experience in the game, and we kind of had similar thoughts, and a lot of people have had similar thoughts. When you first start trading, you want to quit and then go all in, and then some people do, like me, I did, and then you realize that wasn't the way. You had a lot of money saved and everything, and then you ran it dry and everything so far, and you're like, man, I got to go back to work. There's so much of those elements, and then in your mind, it feels like the world is shifting, the world's ending. It's that movie 2012 where the streets just start breaking and everything so far, because your mind is built for survival life, not a thriving life.
Right.
So much decades, so much generations later, but our minds are still operated like that. They're still built on that. Mind you, I don't say that you have to live like that, because whatever you think about most, you become.
Yeah.
It's not that, okay, my survival life, I just got to make enough money to make ends meet. Clearly, if you're watching this channel, you're not like that.
Right.
And you literally want more out of life. You want more funds. You want more life. You want to serve more. You want to give more. So that's why you're watching this channel today, right? We love to play so much bad scenarios in our head, but majority of these things never happen. Sometimes you play a scenario in your head and it actually does happen that way, right? Because you think about whatever you think about most, you become, right? Sometimes you are self-inflicting the problem and then the solution at the same time. So that's what gives your mind so much power. You can think about these things, think them into fruition, right? You're going to become a consistently profitable trader, and that is going to take time. That's not going to be a next day thing either, but you have to realize that all these scenarios in your mind are just perspective.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna jump off that point that you were talking about. I appreciate you, by the way. The point you're talking about with like the movie 2012, like people really do that in their own head. It's not even just the risk of trading or a business or whatever you think your risk is right now. They do it with like most of their problems. Where they'll take something that is in the grand scheme of things like very small, and they'll magnify it into like a massive problem. The point that I want to make with this is about perspective is that like nothing is big or small, everything really just is, right? To kind of illustrate this, right, I'm gonna show you guys this, right? So we got this chess piece here, okay, using a prop off the table, right? This is our reference point, and I'm gonna say this water bottle, right, is our problem, okay? And if we're using the water bottle as our problem, and everything that we're comparing it to are these little tiny chess pieces, all of a sudden our problem looks like the end of the world. Right? But then if you take the problem and you compare it to something bigger like us,
like this pillow right here,
or a pillow, even just something, this is even way smaller than us, right? But if you put it next to it, it's like all of a sudden your problem is diminished based on the size of this, right? So it's really what you're comparing it to. And that's the thing. It's like this looks big next to a chess piece, but it looks very small in my hand compared to me or this pillow or compared to Rob. You really got to take a step back. This is the thing. It's like, I don't want to talk about like video games or whatever, but it's like, like the third person perspective from like a video game where you're kind of like watching yourself in the game is like, I really feel like people need to kind of do that more in their life, where they take a step back and they try to look at themselves from a more objective, like bird's eye view, and be like, wow, in the grand scheme of things, like I'm using these little tiny chess pieces, right? All of my problems are really just little tiny chess pieces, and we're gonna figure it out. I really do implore you guys to really go back and really honestly re-listen to that, because there's a lot of truth to what's being said there for you guys to literally go apply into your life right now. Like you guys could get off of this video on YouTube and literally just start applying the idea of, wow, in the grand scheme of everything, my problems are actually very, very tiny little pieces to the big game that's called life.
I just want to do another point why you think things are worse in your head than they actually are. and actually weighing the risk. Like Alex Harmozy, like he really like put this perspective into me, and like all the mentors that I've seen, all the information that I've got. You know, so much people are worried about other people's opinions, right? You know, subconsciously sometimes you are, and just in the back of mind you are. That's why you kind of wear certain clothes, and that's why you kind of wear nice things sometimes to go out instead of wearing just some board shorts and some flip flops,
right,
like
some flash t-shirts.
Exactly. But I'm not saying that's bad either and everything. But you realize you overly emphasize that opinions of others in your head, and you really think about this. Look, like, do you know your great grandpa's name? No, me either. We're gonna be that line soon enough, right? They're not gonna remember Jared or Rob. They're not gonna remember what Jared or Rob did unless there's something tangible, anything that they can hold, like the Rockefellers or the Fords, where it goes generation after generation, because you have that massive company, you have everything, you have the name, and you already know what they created, because it's still, to this day, it's still being used. And that is our goal in Overture 1, to create a fund, to create a business, to create something that people could go to after generations come, as time goes on. But you realize we're gonna be dead in 90, 100 years, you know, the way that science is, you know, maybe 150 or whatever, 120, whatever the case is. Like, think about it. Like, look, bro, people are not really even like, they may think about you for like a short glance when they see you, but they're not thinking about you all day.
Right.
Vice versa, Jared doesn't think about everything that I do every moment of the day.
Right.
We may talk, we may think right now, and then we get off the phone, and then we thought about our conversation or everything, but that's it. Like, it goes off to different spindles. We have so much of our different lives. We have to grocery shop. Right. We have to meal prep. We have to build a business. We trade. We talk to people. We build relationships. You know, people are not really even thinking about you, man. And if you're really still in that context, you can get over it. Because literally, I gave you the solution. We're all going to die one day. And do you really want to focus so much on the factor of, what does this person think about me? What do I care that person thinks about me?
Right.
We're all different, right? Jared's not like me. I'm not like Jared. We may have similar aspects, but that doesn't mean we're the same either.
Right.
He's very on the intuitive side, where he can come up with ideas very fast and very good, to where it's the point where it's so much that he has to write it down. I come from a point where I'm just very logical thinker. It takes me time to build to those ideas. But when it comes to it, I could execute very hard and very fast and very efficient. So there's multiple different things that we have. And like, if you're still thinking about the way that people view you, you know what, man? Like, if you always have that mindset, then like, someone's always not gonna like you. Like, I saw that corny quote that goes around, if you want all people to like you, just serve ice cream. I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Bro, and in today's world, those people aren't even gonna like you because
it's not dairy free.
Right, I was just gonna say, if you don't have almond milk ice cream.
Yeah, if it's not oat milk, if it's not avocado based, you're cut off, bro. So clearly, no one's safe at this point anymore.
All I kept thinking about when you were saying that is like, I want to give you guys this challenge. Like, I guarantee you guys, you probably don't even remember the outfits that we were wearing in the last video that you watched us in. Like, that really just goes to show, like, wow, like, I really don't. Like, bro, I don't know what you were wearing in the last video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's really true, everything that you're saying. Like, people, like, they might care a little bit, you know what I'm saying, but really not that much.
Yeah.
The next thing that I want to get into is something that I learned from one of the mentors of mine pretty much throughout the past couple years in my life. And it's really how to take that worry that you associate with these risks and how to eliminate it from your life. And this is a very simple practice. And essentially all your goal is to do is to take whatever negative buildup or like whatever negative emotions that you're feeling towards this worry about this supposed big risk that you're going to be taking, and try to eliminate that. So here's an example. Let's say your risk is going all in on trading right now. That's your, hey, look, I really want to do this. I don't know if I should do this. I have all this anxiety, whatever, but I want to go all in on trading. I'm going to stop working. I'm going to move out of my house. I'm going to go live on my own and like become this master trader, right? Okay, this is your situation. Okay, and what your big worry, what your big concern is, what if I don't make it, right? So then what you can do is you can take this situation, and then you don't want to live in this state, but you can simply go back and create all of the worst case scenarios. Like I said, you don't want to live in this fear in these worst case scenarios, but what you want to do is you want to create the worst one possible and prove to yourself and justify in your brain that you're still okay at the end, right? So let's say you go all in, you move out, you have this big dream, this big plan, right? Next worst thing that could happen, you stop following the rules, you're not managing your money properly, you're actually just like, you have these big explosive losses in your account to the point where now your account's gone, you have no money left, you have no money for rent, you have no money for food, and then, okay, what I'm trying to think of worst things that could happen, right? But you get the point. You get the eviction notice on your door, you get kicked out. Now, guess what? Where did you move out of? Probably like your family's house. You probably had bills paid there. You probably had a roof over your head, and now you're back there, right? All in all, are you still in the same conditions that you were before you even took this risk, right? And maybe you don't come to that realization the first time and you're still like very built up about this, but your goal is to work yourself through this so much because it's way worse for you to be sitting worrying about it than to actually confront it, deal with it, go through this process a couple times of like, man, what could be the absolute worst thing that could happen to me? And you're eventually, maybe through a couple times of going through this process, you're gonna get to a point where like, wow, like this is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm back home doing what I was doing before, and I was perfectly fine in my life here. And all I have to do is start from here and try to get to where I want to go again.
Sounds really good.
That's it, right? So like you can take all of that energy and all that built up worry, and you can just relieve yourself from that by doing something super simple like this.
One other like practical step I wanted to give you guys to like overcome, like to determine like risk in trading. I want you to ask yourself like these questions in trading specifically, because these are like common things that happen in trading right now, and just really think about it. And these are like some examples of how Jared says it. So what happens if you fail the funding challenge? Great, you do it again. What happens if you lose your account once you got funded? Great, you learn, you do it again. Michael Jordan didn't just throw a ball and miss a hoop and then that's it, his career was done. He's Michael Jordan because he kept on going, right?
Right.
You know, you have to work a job while trading. So many people have done it and they have become successful. I currently do the same thing. I know a lot of people who actually do that and are making good money, but they're still working a job because they still got some things to take care of. Great. Realize you don't have to care what other people think. You just have to do what makes sense to you. And I want you to think these questions logically, not emotionally, logically. Do not use the center part of your brain where it goes through emotions. Use the frontal lobe to actually make logic out of this. Okay, great. You lose a trade. When you lose a trade, it's not if, because obviously you're going to lose a trade. What happened? If you are using good risk management, you can still make great returns because it's completely irrelevant about winning.
Right.
It's more relevant on getting a good risk to reward rather than trying to hit bangers every single time. You have to get the notation out that you have to be consistent on every single trade, a banger, and then you have to lose very minimal times. Bro, you could suck in trading, still make money. Are you kidding me? Like the averages are set in your favor. You just have to stay in the game long enough to develop yourself and have a good plan. And what if it does take you a long time to make a plan? It takes you a year or two. Great. So many people have done it. That's been my life. First year of trading was like completely copy signals, this, make money, like crap everywhere. That's it. Yeah. Second year was like, okay, I got a valid strategy. I'm learning. I'm getting better. Wasn't making a ton of money. Boom. But 2.5 years in, 2.2 years in, I got a solid plan that I follow now. This is what I live by, and I don't make it hard and I don't make it complicated. I make it very simple to the point where a third grader can look at it, draw like colors around it. So it's so simple. So ask yourself these questions and really give yourself the response logically and really be like, okay. And then use Jared's example and be like, I could live with that. I could live with my parents for a little bit more. Oh man, I'm 25. I'm not like loaded yet. Great. By the time you're 30, you'll be extremely loaded. Right. It's all perspective.
Yeah.
You know 30-year-olds that are broke And you know 30-year-olds that are millionaires. There's 23-year-olds that are millionaires. There's 23-year-olds that are in FIU probably doing a keg stand right now. That doesn't have $3 to their name.
Right.
So they don't even know how they got in there, to be honest. But, so, think about it. It's all perspective how Jared says.
Right.
It's like, how do you view your life? You're third party. Not how does Billy, Graham, and Stefan determine your life. It's your life, bro. So.
Wow, nugget. That's a nugget. It's your life. Go live it. We appreciate you guys, you know, and I really hope that this message uplifts you guys to really see risk in a whole new perspective, and to go accomplish whatever you're looking to accomplish. So with that being said, we appreciate you again, and we will see you guys on next week's video.